Hey, welcome everyone. It's Rob. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's go ahead and make sure all can hear me. If you would please go ahead and type the number 1 in the comment section, the chat box. I appreciate it. Hey, Jeff, morning. Thanks, Lee. All right. Hope everybody's having a good day. Let me just grab my Power Hour document. I don't have it open here. And then I can share. Perfect. All right. Morning, Helen. Hey, Jennifer. Good morning to you as well. One more thing. Video. Let's go ahead and get that going. Da-da-da. Okay. There we go. Woo. Well, as we get started here, keep in mind that everything we look at is for education. Nothing is meant to be advice or recommendations. If you find something you like, anything, make sure it fits your own personal risk profile and risk tolerance before ever taking on a trade, a setup, or the indicator. All right, I'm going to go ahead and mute my phone here. Somebody feels it's very important to message me over and over and over again, even though they know I'm teaching, as if I'm going to respond to them. That's not going to happen. All right. So we've got a lot happening. We have Inner Circle is tonight at 7 o'clock. Right behind that at 8 p.m. is Mastering the Trade. That is for all of you that are in power option plays. You will be automatically registered and you will just show up. Bring your questions. This is not about me picking a topic to teach. This is about what questions do you have? What can I help you with using the power option play system? You should be, those of you that are in this should be taking advantage of this event tonight to ask all the questions you need to help you perfect the system that I teach in power option plays. On the 7th, which is tomorrow, we're doing a quarterly, actually, mastermind group. That will be a 2-hour. So it'll start at 8. We'll plan on going till 10-ish, right, o'clock. And then Q&A is coming up. We've got E-mini on the 14th and patterns in a flash on the 15th. Power option plays, covered call, explore, E-mini think tank. We're all on the regular schedule, as is Power Hour and Trading Coaches Playbook. And putting futures in your present. That starts on May 9th, which is Thursday. And then May 16th, we have the next one from there. Here is our follow us page. If you have not already done so, make sure you're following all of the various social platforms we have out there. You may notice that there are 2 different TikToks on there. Same icon, like why you got a different one? One of them is a trader's mindset. That's Trader's Mental Edge, go figure. Right, and then of course the Wealth Builders is our standard TikTok. By the way, Lee did drop some links in there so you guys can get into some of the various things we're talking about, like putting futures in your present. Let's take that off. And here's our Trading Boss Manifesto. You can download this on robertjroy.com, on tradinglikeaboss.com, on wealthbuildershq.com. We've got it on 5 or 6 other sites, so we're not going to worry about mentioning those for now. Right? Here you go. Put your futures in your present, or putting your futures in present. Free training. You can, guys, just Lee's dropped the link in there. Don't miss out on this. What Brandon teaches in there, where you're going to pick up, even in the free training, is outstanding. So do not miss on taking this this free class that Brandon has going on. He's only got 2 of them. All right, I don't want to show that yet. What trades did you do? Drop them in. Let's see how you made out. I don't care if they're funded or non-funded. Everything here at Wealth Builders is non-funded. We don't want to know whether it is or isn't, right? Because if you say it is, then I've got to start asking you for tax returns and brokerage statements and testimonials, and you've got to put your first child up for auction, and it's insane what the government insists upon to be able to do that. So everything we talk is non-funded. If you didn't get one off today, but you close some stuff out at the end of the week, by all means, drop that in as well. That's okay. Let's see. Trip said only 31 cents on the IWM scalp, but it was 72% in less than 3 minutes. I'll take 72% all day long. Stephanie said 4 short puts on DKS for a 33% profit in a half an hour. Nice. Very nice. Right? I love that. Yowza. Okay. So while you guys are typing the rest of them in, let's go take a look at Trade Watch alerts from Amelia today. We had vertical spreads that she did, or vertical spread. that she did, and it was on Netflix. So you can see, just look at timestamp. The bottom one was 9:48, right? It's green, right? Buy, sell. So it was a vertical spread. She did this as a call spread, right? And it was a debit spread, right? Bull call, debit spread, all right? So she had a debit of $2.75, which means on this trade, unlike a credit spread where you get paid, a debit spread is more directional. You're paying upfront for that. And you're trying to capitalize on the move to the upside with some caps on your risk and your profit, but you're capping what your risk in that trade is. So she spent $2.75, and that was at 9:48 in the morning, right here. And this candle here. And at 10:40 a.m., she sold all of those and got a credit, so debit first, got a credit of $3.35, 21.8% rate of return in 53 minutes. Right now, I think it's important to understand and look at the SPX. All right, so we've got the S&P 500. Maybe too much. Okay, so I just wasn't sure if it was all going to fit on the screen or not. Let's do it here. There we go. Okay, so we had a really nice move up. Quick little pullback, right? And then these are 1 minute candles, then a bounce, and just very sideways, right? If we go in and transpose this now into a 5 minute candle instead, that's a 1 also. Let's go to 5. There we go. This is the chart I normally have a 5 minute on. So we had a really great move up. We went for 20 minutes, and then we went and we ran sideways. 20 minutes takes us into 10 minutes prior to the hour, right? So we're looking at 9:30 until 9:50. Go figure, that's kind of a reversal point in the market right there, right? But overall, nice move on the market. We went sideways from there. A couple of opportunities to pull out, lock in some really good profits. Making sure I got my charts all set up right. Lock in some pretty serious profits on there. So Scott said, I overslept, so I missed out on the Hakanashi trades. However, when I logged in this morning, I had notifications that 3 of my Vegas spreads had closed for better than 50% crush in premium. One of them closing for as much as 70% crush in premium. Great job, Scott. And you guys are getting kudos in there. Trip type, PK typed in, and others congratulating everybody. So good job, Scott. Great. I mean, that's wonderful when you make money when you sleep, right? You wake up to find out profit is in the account. I did nothing. I set it up. I walked away, closed my eyes, didn't get involved with it, let the trade do what it does, and you're able to lock in some profit. So there you go. Excellent, 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 excellent. Very good. Oh, man, I'm stoked. So I didn't get a whole lot off today. I wasn't crazy about anything on my power hour trade, which is my my pivot point trades, rather. So we got the gap up, and I could have taken it on that bounce. I didn't trust that gap wasn't going to fill. This is on the Qs. So I let it go. We would have got half the trade taken off. The second half, we would have waited until, goodness, 10 to 12 to be out, right? SPY, same thing. I did not take that. None of those. I don't know if this scenario would have been close enough. I actually would have been taken out or not on the second candle, the wick of the candle. I am not sure, but didn't take it. Nothing went off there. I didn't trust that the gap today was going to be sufficient that it was not going to fill, right? It was too small of a gap. I thought we were going to fill it. So I waited for the pullback, which ultimately never came. But I did get one on AMD today. So the importance of this, and we're going to use AMD as an example in a little while, again, but the importance here is this, right? You can't look at this as a today candle and make a determination of what should you have done. That is a mistake. What I mean by that is if I look at where the moving average is right now, that moving average, you know what, let me see if I can do it right there. That moving average is about there, 153.10, roughly, okay? is where we are. A little bit lower, but close enough for government work, okay? But if we get rid of today and we take that off of the screen, you will notice that my moving average on yesterday's close was here. Okay, buck or so less than the moving average was today. And keep in mind, the moving average from today is moving. As the stock goes up and down, this is my stock, right? As the stock goes up, the moving average is going up. As the stock comes down, the 8 moving average is coming down. It does this in relation until finally, ding, 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 4 p.m. hits. Now we have a frozen in time moving average. So I work off of yesterday's closing price of moving average. I snap a horizontal line off of there. That level is the most important part of it to me, not what it's doing so far today per se, right? So I'm going to delete that one line out of there. Now, if I kind of stretch this out and pull it up a little bit, I want to look at, and guys, I am really pulling back the curtain for all of you to show you some of the things that I look for personally day in and day out on my setups, right? This is a key element in power option plays that I don't openly discuss normally, but there is a reason I'm going to share this with you now. On power option plays tonight is the mastering the trade, okay? That is where we go over for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it takes us. Any and all questions that people have, I'll teach a little bit on some things, but any and all questions are handled tonight in this. In other words, Rob, if we go back 3 days ago on this XYZ trade that you showed, why did this happen versus that? Would this not have been a better place to draw the fib? Should I have been stopped out here? Blah, 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 right? And we go back and analyze all of the trades, all the analysis, whatever questions anybody has, okay? So with power option plays comes one of these every 6 to 8 weeks we do one of the mastering the trades. Tonight is the night. So those of you that are not in power option plays, if you register, Lee, can you drop a link into power option plays? If you register to power option plays, I'm just going to be very open with you. Excuse me, this is a 2-week trial. So you're not charged anything. Come into tonight's class, watch the next 2 weeks of training, see what I'm doing there, right? If you like it, stick with it. If not, send us an email. We cancel your subscription. No harm, no foul. We are not that type of guy. I'm not that type of guy. If I can't help you, then I don't want to try to help you, right? By all means, I'll give you, we didn't charge anything, so there's nothing to give you back. We'll just cancel the subscription and call it a day. You got 14 days to do that. But you will be invited. You will be registered to come tonight. Now, do not wait until 7:45 tonight because you're not going to get an email. Those things are already scheduled to go out. I need to know this in advance. So if you get set up with this today for a free trial, you will be invited into tonight's class where you can ask all of these questions on the things like this that I'm going to show you right now. Just one of the secrets that we use inside of POP. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a fib tool that I have prepared or put together that I use, and it looks like this, right? I've got 2 lines drawn on there on the bottom, 2 lines drawn on the top. I really don't care about 4 lines. I only care about 2. Actually, in this scenario, I only really care about 1. You see this red line? It says 75. What that is, that's because I drew it upside down. If I draw it the other way, right now my green line's on the bottom and it shows 25. Just the direction you drew it in. What that shows me is this distance between here and here. Up to this green line, that is 25% of the overall distance between these 2 fib lines. Very important to understand. What that tells me is as long as my moving average is below 25%, I am okay to consider taking a trade. Once I get above that 25%, like we are right now, yeah, I'm going to back away. And I understand candle position may not be perfect on this one. There are going to be many times, though, that the moving average is just further away from a fib line, and I just don't want to take the trade. You know, we got above right here, right? Here's the 25%, same 25%. I'm not taking a trade on that candle because we're above the 25. We're just way too far. We're not below the 25, but way too far away, right? I've got a very specific set of rules, and that's one of the major rules that we contend with. So if you will set yourself up a tool, one of the fib drawing tools, that you could just have a 25 on there, and I put 25 and 75, so it doesn't matter which way you draw. Right? Forget about the other two lines. I'm not going to go into them here. They're definitely more advanced. They actually came out of our inner circle meeting when I was teaching this exact concept live in our event in New York. This training, it's the exact same concept that I taught there, and we came up with some other levels and ways to use them as well. So when I'm looking at this, and I saw that we were there with our moving average, we opened up here and we pulled back. Oh yes, sweet pullback. And remember, I've got a moving average that closed yesterday here, right? So we pulled back to that level and we bounced. And of course, when we pulled back, we were not that high on the moving average. It wasn't up there. It was much lower than it is right now, right? Very close to flat on this horizontal line. So life was good, right? Entry taken as we bounced off of there. So we can't, let me bring this current. Ooh. Okay. So we came up off of the 150.88, so about 150 and 3/4, about 152 was our entry. Okay, so we're in about 152. It's actually 151 and 3/4, but 52 is close enough. We're in at 152. We would be out about $1 below that 157 level. That's 155. Well, where was our high today? Our high was 156.65. There we go. 156, 157's resistance, so about $1 below 156 would be our exit. Out of the trade, done. Call it a day, and we just another rule. We're not going to get into it for now. We did extremely well on this setup in a fairly short period of time. If we look at this on AMD, let's see. Let's go to a 5-minute chart. Let's go to AMD. It'll take a second for today's candle to load in there. I got a blue bar there. Interesting. Why is there a blue bar here? Huh. Oh, wrong. Yeah, so for whatever reason, it's just not translating over. So, how long to get up to that, to this? This was 157. So where did we get up to 156? We had a high on this candle of 17. We had a high here of 155.92. So right there at 10:30 this morning, an hour into the trade, we're out. Target hit, done. Call it a day. Thank you very much. Svinbev, very nice. We're done. We're out of the trade. Okay, we're out of that trade. The trade on this, Paul, would be very simple. For me, it's a directional call, right? I am looking for a premium acceleration on this trade setup, right? Not PE, price earnings. No. Price acceleration. That's me, PE, right? I'm not looking at the price to earnings ratio. How quickly can I get this to accelerate? Selling puts could have brought in some premium for me, but I'm not going to get a big crush in premium between 9:30 and 10:30, especially on a Monday when the option doesn't expire until Friday, right? I'll get a crush. I'll get a move, but it's not a crush. It's not going to just come slamming down. Here, buying a directional trade, watching almost a $4 or $5 move, you've got a massive increase in premium potential on this trade, on this option here. So 65 to 85 delta, 100 open interest. Check to confirm what the fair value, or theoretical value of the option is. Okay. Now, sometimes you may not find 100 open interest. You've got to make that call if you feel you're skilled enough that you still would take that trade. Right, but that's ideally what we're looking for. So Barry said, you will take a rising trade or a failing trade if the ADMA is below the 25 of the fib difference. So if I have that 25, Barry, is what gives me what we call a confluence, right? So as far as I'm concerned, if we're within 25% of this distance between these two fib lines, with that eight moving average. And we have a confluence there, and I will take a trade based on that. Yes. Right? That is a tremendous benefit / value to me. And just keep something in mind. If you do decide to come in this evening to the Mastering the Trade, which is a bonus Q&A for power option plays, if you do that, make sure all of these questions are brought in and we can go over them in depth tonight. Paul said, buying the stock of a bull call spread. So I am definitely a directional trader, Paul. Could you have done this with the stock? Yes. You'd get a 100 delta. Every penny the stock moves, the option, let me do it again. Every dollar the stock moves a dollar. There's no delta to be concerned with in there, right? The stock goes up 42 cents, you made 42 cents. If it goes down 18 cents, you lost 18 cents. There's no factor in there. It's not a derivative. It's not some kind of options type position. So you can use stock. The problem is leverage. It's the amount of money required for me to be able to do this trade. I need a lot, right? At least to be able to do a decent number of shares. Whereas if I can make $4 on an option, as an example, call it $3. Say you make $3 on your option, and I make $3 on my stock. Yes. No, that wouldn't be the case. If I made $3 on the option, I'd probably make $4 on the stock. Well, if I make $4 on the stock, yes, I made more money, but here's the problem. I needed a lot more. I needed $150 a share versus needing $10 or $12 a share to do the options on AMD, right? If we look, let's go ahead and let me change it. It is okay. Really? Ooh, still got it there. Okay, it's still there from before. All right. So 65 to 85 delta. What am I looking at here, folks? Let's see. Well, I don't have a 65. If we wait a couple of seconds, that delta may come up a little bit, but we're not there right now. But I do have anything from the 150s all the way up to or down to the 147s. Okay, up because I drew up. So if we look inside of here, I can buy this 150 strike at 610. It's got a 75 delta, 11,600 open interest, 8,700 of volume today. So huge volume. $6.50 is the fair value. They're asking 610. Okay. Is it horrible? I'm looking at a 40-cent overage there, or overvalue, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I'll pay it, right? Now I'll pay it. That doesn't mean you will. You've got to look at that and go, too much for my risk. I'm not doing it. I'm going to walk away, call it a day. Beautiful. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But that's the trade. That's the option we take. Everything we need is right there. Could you have sold a naked put? Yes, you could have sold a naked put. If we find, let's look at, we had a lot of volume on this today, right? So let's do this. Let's go look at the 152.5. Put. Right now it's at 175. All right. So if we look, that put opened up today roughly at $3. It dropped down to a low of $1.50. Could you have made some money on it? Yes, absolutely. Did you make as much as a directional trader? Wait. What did I do? Hold on. Let me check something again. Yeah, okay, never mind. We were good. What did I say? Yeah, 35 delta. Yeah, I was looking for about a 40 delta is what I'm looking for. This would have moved a little bit, so we're okay. So we'll call it a 35 delta. But did you make some money, or could you have made some money on this position? Yes, without a doubt. Yes, absolutely. Right? Directional trade, like buying a call instead of selling a position, will give you a larger bang for your buck. Doesn't make one right or wrong, one better or worse. Could you have taken this setup, the same things that I teach in power option plays, and do exactly what Amelia does with debit and credit spreads? Yes. No, but Amelia must be wrong, Rob, because you're not doing it that way. No, that's just it. You don't have to trade just like me. I'm going to teach you a systematic way that I do it. You're going to take the pieces from that work for you, and from Amelia, and from Brandon, and Tony, and Tripp, and whomever else, and we're going to build, and Ryan, we're going to build you. We're going to make a trader out of you based on all of those pieces of that puzzle. Okay. Let's see. Barry said a rising trade because the detox is, yeah, not sure what detox is. Let's see if I can figure it out, Barry. Is rising or falling trade. Stop. Okay, good. Stop. Got it. Now I got it. Okay. I don't know why I didn't put that together. D and S, letters right next to each other on the keyboard. Thank you for clarifying, Barry. So rising trade because the stock is rising, and falling trade because the EMA, not SMA, it's EMA, is falling. So very simply, Barry, we were in a bearish neutral bias today, but market itself was up handsomely. I'm going to take advantage as a day trade only on this position, even though we're in a bearish bias, or what became a bearish neutral bias. I'll still take the bullish entry, but I'm only in for today. And my stop, because I've got a confluence there, I've got a lot of strength. Remember, I haven't said it in a while this way, but I want you to think of it this way: you've got a floor, and the floor is made out of half-inch plywood. Okay, so, and there's 16 inches between each beam that the plywood is sitting on top of. You go right in the center of those two beams, you start bouncing up and down. If you're 100 pounds, you may see the board go like this. I'm over 200 pounds, I'll see the board go like this. But if I slap another piece of plywood on top of there, even if it's thinner, 1/4 inch, right, not as strong as the 1/2 inch, I am going to more than double my strength there, because it's just more strands, more boards. Forget about the tensile strength component of it. But I'm going to double my strength more than, because I have a confluence. I've got 2 boards there. Well, my biggest strength is the Fibonacci line. My second biggest strength is the confluence of the moving average. It makes it that much harder to break through that level. So Barry, that's the reason why I've got everything sitting there together. And when I find that perfect setup, it's time to execute off of there. Does that make sense, Barry? Yes? Okay, excellent. PK said, being in a bearish neutral, would you take the trade according to the pop rules? Yes. And remember, so what does that mean then for us, PK? That means that we would do an aggressive trade because it is not a true bullish bias on our stock. And on the S&P 500, we do not have a true bullish bias. So we would do an aggressive entry, which just means less contracts, right? PK and I are talking in code right now. If you're not in pop, you may not fully understand what I'm referencing there. And another reason to listen, take the 2-week trial. You'll figure out if it works for you or not. Stephanie said, wouldn't have known to go bullish on AMD due to the chart. And Stephanie, there's nothing. See, you got to look at your experience, and I'm not referencing just you, Stephanie. Anybody has to look at their experience and their comfort level. Are you comfortable with this? If my moving average, Stephanie, was up higher than where it actually is, I would not have taken that trade. Right? I wouldn't have taken. I would not have been comfortable enough to take that trade overall against it. But what I'm looking at is the obstacle course in front of me. Do I have a straight run down that lane where I can go right to the finish line? Or is there some junk in the middle of the road, like a broken down tire, a car that was on fire, down electrical wires, a couple of tree branches or trunks that fell down, and I've got some resistance there, and they could be moving averages, parabolic SAR, Bollinger, whatever. The other indicators and or levels, could be 100-point levels, could be recent swing high or lows. All of those things would prevent me from taking it. For today, because our 8 was so low, magnifique, I was very happy with it and willing to take that trade in that setup based on that. Stephanie said, I get that when you show it to me, but don't always see it when I look myself yet. Yeah, no, and I get it. You know, it's so true, guys. I'm always a believer in if there's something that you want to do, find someone that's doing it, duplicate their actions, and look for similar results, right? I love woodworking. I love fishing. I'm okay in both of them. I'm not great. I would never claim myself to be great, right? You know, I got a buddy of mine that I can go out with, and he doesn't need the damn pole in the water. He just can look at the water and the fish is jumping out towards a net for him, right? He's that good of a fisherman, right? But I don't look at it and say I have to be as good as him, and I don't look at it and say, oh, how come Mike can see that but I can't, right? How come he does it but I can't? I don't do that, right? But what I do is ask him, okay, so what's going on in your head? What are you seeing? What are you thinking? When you're lifting the rod, look at my lift, look at your lift. What's the difference there? So Rob, my lift, I've got my elbow on the back of the butt of the rod, and I'm using my elbow to guide me. You're using your wrist and you're jerking your tip more, so the bait looks unnatural in the water. Oh, well, that makes sense, right? I'm a big believer in finding someone that is doing what I want to do and letting them teach me. Same with woodworking. I'm pretty good, right? I started off making wooden bowls. You could probably sell them for $10 or $20 a piece. I renamed them to vessels. They were $200 or $300 each now, right? I don't sell any of them, right? It's too much work, too much labor of love to do it, right? I could buy things cheaper in the store than doing it myself, but that's not what it's about for me. It's about being able to build it and do it and fix it and so forth, right? There's not a lot I can't fix when it comes to woodworking and stuff like that. I'm not a plumber. Might as well just let it leak because I can't fix it better than it is broken already. It's just not me. Woodworking, repairs at the house. Yeah, I could paint. No, I'm not painting. We had someone just come paint the whole house. I don't care what it costs me. I'm not painting. I'll pay someone to do it. Right? So Stephanie, all of that to say, it's just a matter of what you're comfortable with, how good you are at something, and then that practice, and you get used to seeing that. And this is not the norm, right? We really want to see a stock is in a bullish bias. It's moved up, retested support, bounce. We have no resistance above head like our moving averages. Those two fib lines, although they're $6 apart, right? Plenty of room, right? But some will look at it and go, ooh, just too tight for me. And that's okay. It doesn't, for anybody, you don't have to be comfortable taking it if you're not comfortable taking it. Right? You've got to like what you see. If you don't, it's okay to say, I passed, position one in the chair. I'm going to do something else today. Right? Whatever that something else is. I got very focused away from these setups today and looking at other things because it wasn't a day that I thought I was going to be doing any more trading. We'd had that gap up. I didn't believe we were going to fill. I didn't expect a big move on the S&P today. I mean, obviously it's lunchtime. We could still have more room. We've had some growth, some move up, but we had a gap up on Thursday to Friday. Excuse me. Continuation gap today. We'll see what volume looks like at the end of the day. But it looks like a continuation gap. We'll see where it all goes. The 8 will probably cross through the 21 by tomorrow, which will put us in a true bullish bias by the time we get to tomorrow evening, right? And then just Haiti bar the doors, right? It's just boom. We got lots of room above. There's a confluence of a blue zone. That goes away now because that recent swing high has been violated right back here. But overall, I liked what I saw on AMD. It was an aggressive entry, so I did less contracts on it, non-funded, right? But I did less contracts on it so that I am testing out my theory. Now, I don't have any that are not filled in. Guys, I am fanatical when it comes to things that I do and processes that I put together. Give me a second. I'm going to share something with you that has absolutely nothing to do with the market, but I don't want to share it as the actual numbers that I've got filled in there and what I've done and so forth. Because there are health things that are on there and I'm not willing to just share that stuff. Give me a second. Actually, I shouldn't have bothered printing it. I probably could have just pulled it up here as a document. Let's see. Give me a second. Where is it opening up? Okay, here we go. So here, okay. This is a tracker for my day, okay? What time did I wake? This is red light laser therapy on my knees. This is some aminos I take in the morning. Did I check my sugar, my blood pressure? I did my lumen test. I did my Wim Hof breathing. I took my magnesium. I took my aloe. I'm doing all of this in about a half an hour, and I'm off to the gym. Okay. Then I come back and do another concoction of a drink. I get on a whole body vibration machine. I do my neck, shoulder, and ab stretches. I get in the sauna, do my Bible. I do my knee stretches, and I put my kidney on, which is this red light laser therapy tool, okay, which is absolutely outstanding. It actually builds cartilage back, right? Guys, that's the level when I am working with somebody to figure out what to do. This was my coach helping me lay that page out to say, this is what I do, right? And it should be no different than anything you do in life. If you want to be really good at baseball, then get a baseball coach. You want to be really good at trading, get a trading coach. You want to be really good at whatever, get a coach. You want to be really good in your marriage, get a marriage coach. I'm not kidding you. I wish someone would have told me that a long time ago. It would have saved me a hell of a ton of heartache had I done that a long time ago, right? Either that, or if my father just would have told me, just say yes to everything. Don't question it, just say yes. That would have just saved lots of grief and heartache, right? Let's see. You're welcome there, PK. And PK was given an unsolicited plug for Pop. Yeah, it's great training, PK. There's no question. Okay, let me see what else we got here. Okay. So yeah, so Trader Will, did you develop this with the Aura Ring? No, I didn't develop it with the Aura Ring, but I have the Aura Ring on, right? My Fitbit is on. Guys, I go to a friggin' wedding with the Rolex stays home, the Fitbit stays on. I want to know, I am so detailed into what I do every single day, how my body is affected. The Aura Ring helps me to see exactly based on what I did on that sheet that I just shared with you guys. The Aura Ring, Will, do you have one? The ring? That Aura Ring, based on what my day looked like. So this was yesterday. This was Saturday night, sleeping Saturday night into Sunday morning, right? So it shows you, and maybe you can't read it because it's backwards. It shows you I had an 85 sleep score. Everything was blue. Life was good. They liked everything that I did there, right? I had a good amount of sleep that night. For me, almost 7 hours is like Rip Van Winkle for me, right? To get 7 hours. You know what? All of that, if I take the stuff that's on this page and I go through what I did here on Saturday and analyze what I did and compare it to my sleep is amazing. Why? Because of what I did here, right? So, guys, you can do the exact same thing with your trading. Get very detailed on what you track and what happens, right? And you'll be blown away about what the possibilities are from that. So, let me see. And by the way, OURA is the name of the ring. I'm not an affiliate for them. Don't mention my name. You buy it, don't worry about it, okay? Not the vibration machines they used to have in hotels, Steve. This is called Vibra Pro. The one I have is about $4 grand. And it's got a pad on it that there's none of these big belts that the big fat slobbery guy on the cartoons used to shake them. No, it's a pad that sets that, because that doesn't have any correct movement to it. So that is just throwing your body all over the place. You're zigging when you should be zagging, and it's pulling your body and really messing you up as far as joints and ligaments go. This has a vibration pad that has a certain pattern that goes left to right and a certain pattern that goes front to back. And it will work through that pattern specifically, and you can make changes to it, but it's still in sync. You can't make it go ooh when it should go ah. You can't do that. It has to stay in sync of one direction to the other, always. And I don't mean this is a 50 and this is a 50. You can do that. But no, I have where this is a 2 and this is a 98, right? Where it's 100, right? This is 50, this is 50. Then this one is 98 and this one is 2, right? And it's just a program that's defined in there. So it's a good machine for helping with lymphatic fluid. Will said there is no good professional out there that does not use at least one coach. Not yet. Needed to find some time to make sure I will integrate it into my life. I started the account, but not ordered yet. Okay. Remind me when we get together, Will. And I've got 2 names for you for the staffing stuff we talked about, on how to contact them. But remind me, we could talk a little bit about this stuff. I can give you guys this in inner circle, and you guys can, take what I did and so forth. Yeah, $4,000's a lot more than a quarter. Yeah, it is, Steve, without a doubt. Listen, you could always just go on a ride for a quarter, right, at the candy store. PK said, been in pops since it began with Wealth Builders. Wow. Okay, yeah, that price is not available any longer, PK. So you're doing well. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. All right. So the only ones that went off for me was the AMD. That was it. You saw the one from Amelia. We looked at the S&P 500 briefly. Let's go back and do a quick analysis of it again, or do an analysis of it, I should say. We didn't really do one. So, okay, here we go. So we've got a great move there. Realistically, I'm going to leave this for now, and I'll take it out and pop later. But this horizontal line and the blue zone are gone because we've closed above it, so that no longer it's the recent swing high, but it won't be any longer. This will be, okay? So actually, we could leave it in there because we're going to look for the stair step up like we had this stair step on the swing lows. So we're looking for ideally a pullback to the 51.32 and a bounce and a move up to 51.97. Right? That's what I'd like to see. If it breaks, what I really care about, what happens with the 8 and 21? Does it hold above? As long as it holds above there, I'm okay with it. If it bounces, gets us back out, we're good. Right? But we need a move up and a pullback, a move up and a pullback, a move up and a pullback. Ideally, had you been paying attention and you saw this massive move on Amazon when you went from 155 up to 190, right? Yeah, this pullback, I get it. You're not going to get it at that 160, but if you got it at 175 again, and now it's sitting at 185, you'd be very happy. Tickle pink, right? It gave you a lot of opportunity to add to your position. Multiple stocks have done it, right? Google, we had this nice move up, right? Think of it. You had this move up. There's your pullback to your fib line. You had to move up. Here's another pullback, another pullback. Another pullback, move up. Oh, look at that. Another pullback to 163.5. And right now we're at 167.5, we'll call it. Yeah, another $3 move off of there. Whether you're doing it long-term because you're adding to a position, or you are doing it just for the sake of, I'm looking to day trade this or intraday trade this, doing a couple of days as a swing. Either way, whatever works for you, right? But the opportunities are there, right? So I like the overall move in the S&P. The VIX is performing very nicely. We were back up in a medium zone for all of like 3 friggin' days or something. We closed 1 day above here, 2 days, okay, 3 days, 4 days, and that was it. 4 days. This one closed back below, right? So from April 15th to April 19th, that's where we had the concern of, and when I say concern, some were freaking out that it got up into the green zone. Green is good. I'm not worried about green. We're just so used to low right now, right? People are freaking out over it. I'm not concerned with it at all, okay? So I like the S&P 500. I like where we're at. I gave you some details of what we're looking for. Give me the pink above the green, and we go straight to full, 10 contract trades on everything at this point. Everything becomes 10 contract trades, okay? All right. So let's go back here. Advantages of pullbacks. I talk in circles around this a lot where it comes up in conversation, or I say I want to pull back, not a breakout. You could trade anything that you choose. I have a good friend of mine. His name is Brian. We met many, many, many years ago when I first started teaching for the very first company that I took my training for. I got really good, sent my results into them. They asked me to come to Washington State for 3 days. You get up, you get to present a little bit. Had no idea how to present. I met guys there like Ryan Litchfield teaching me how to present, right? Ryan Litchfield, right? He and I had become the best of friends from day one, right? From absolutely day one. When he left that company and I left that company, he calls me and said, you and I will work together in the future without a doubt. And this is not, that was the first place we worked together. We worked at the last company I was with together, and now Ryan comes here to help teach with us as well. So love him to death, right? But I had no clue as what it took to teach and so forth. And I met this guy, Brian, there, and Brian was a breakout trader, and I am not. I am a pullback trader. And he showed me the things that he does. I showed him the things that I do. He adapted more to the way that I trade, meaning I'm not saying he stopped trading breakouts. He loves the breakouts. He's not going to stop trading them. What I meant by that is he was able to go, oh, I can add that to what I do. I looked at the breakout stuff and go, yeah, it doesn't work for me. Right? I think there's a friggin' mental block in my head that's preventing me from doing it. And when I say it that way, I will show you why in a moment I am not a fan of taking breakouts. Not that they cannot be good. It's just not my thing. So let me take you over to a chart. Okay. Somebody give me a major stock to look at. Big name company. I don't care who it is. Doesn't matter. Yeah, Scott said, I love the green zone. It's higher credit spread premium. Exactly, which is why I like it. Any stock, guys, just drop it in the ticker in the chat. Microsoft. There you go. Stephanie was the first one to put it in. Okay, so let's go look at Microsoft. Whoops. Wrong one. So, you know what? I'm going to back this up. I may have to make an adjustment. Nope, what happened? Oh, I clicked on the weekly. I was trying to just click on this scroll bar here. Oh, good. Good. It's exactly what I want right there. No matter what I do, I can't make it much bigger. Okay. So we've got a great Fibonacci in here. Good V bottom, strong bullish thrusting pattern, great ending pattern with a V top, swing high, and we pull back. And we pull back to the 236. Everything about this says wonderful. And then we just did this sideways death crawl, right? Nothing, right? We push back up again. So on this candle, I'm going to use a red. On this candle right here, this one candle, it's very dark now. I am in position number one in the chair. I am all the way back here doing nothing. On the next candle, let's call it 2. At that point, I go from position number 1 in the chair to position number 2. I'm very, very in tune to what's happening right now. I'm very focused, waiting for that breakout. Didn't really happen. We really didn't even chip away at the ice. Nothing broke through the fib line, but I'm watching it. The next candle was a breakout candle. Look at where it opened. It opened at the top of the body. Now, I'm not saying that had you taken this entry, you would have held on after it ran up and fell back. I'm not saying you would have. But I am going to say that many traders would have left this trade on and gotten stopped out on this trade as it broke down through the zero line. Somewhere down below that zero line, you would have been stopped out. Right? Now, remember, I did not pick this. This was a fib that was already drawn. I asked Stephanie for the symbol, and it's right there. Okay? So what happened then? Well, now on that breakout, we pulled back and we sat right at a fib line. So now what? Look at the next day. We gap up slightly. We gap up slightly from where we closed. So closing price on this day, let me get my hand off it so I don't move it. Closing price 384.63. Our opening price here, 385.49. So 75, 80 cents, whatever it is, higher. Wonderful. Our low in there, 384.65. Our fib line, 384.30. So we're at a $380 stock. We came within 35 cents of hitting that fib line. Would you consider that a hit? Oh, hell yeah, it hit that line. This is not, well, it missed by 35. No, it's a $380 stock. Yes, it crushed that line as far as I'm concerned. And what did it do? It bounced. Could you have done well here? Yes. I'm not saying breakouts don't work, but why do I prefer a retest over a breakout or a pullback over a breakout, right? For me, it all comes down to what I just shared. That breakout might have given you an opportunity, but that gave me a whole hell of a lot more chance of being right in that trade. I'm not dealing with that wiggle all the way down. Couldn't have, yes, it still could go against me. It could have been a fake, a head fake right out of the gate, right out of the get-go, right? But for me, this is the correct setup, right? No ifs, no ands, no buts. Let's see. So Brenda said, so what happened first? The wick at the top? My guess is the wick at the top, Brenda. More than likely, the way this stock would have gone is we gapped up here. We ran up to the high. We failed, broke through that zero line, came back and settled just below, just above that line. This is January. I can't really go back on a 5-minute chart. It would take me a year and a day to get that much 5-minute data. Yes, Stephanie, I will. Give me a moment and I'll show the entire fib for it. Right? You're welcome. Stephanie, you're welcome. Brenda said, okay, thanks. That's the way I see it too. Yeah. And you can go back and look. Listen, you can go set up 15-minute data and you may be able to go back far enough. I mean, this is, what did we say? This is Jan 11. Right? So, and it's Microsoft, right? Let's do this. We've got a 30-minute chart here. Microsoft, let's go back and see if we've got Jan 11. I don't know if I can get it. Let me see. See how long it's gonna actually take to pull it in. January, February, March, April, 4, 3, 6, 9, 12, 120. So we need to get 130 days back. Let's see. Oh, good. Okay, here we go. So what did I say? The 4th? Jan 11. Okay, Jan 11. Good, because the 4th looked like a weekend. Nope. Why do I got the wrong date? Jan 11, Jan 12. What the heck? Oh, it's not January, it's November. Okay. No wonder. We need January 11th. This is December. Jan 17. Okay. January 11th. All right. So look what happened, Brenda. We gapped up, we ran up on the wick, we pulled back, and we closed out at the end of the day. Just what I thought it would have done. Right? Pretty common when it does something like that. All right. A bit of a hassle to get to, but it's okay. Now, here, I'm going to go ahead. It doesn't really matter what stock I choose. I'm going to go to Costco. Doesn't really make a difference, right? I'm looking for any pop stock. Let's see. So if we look here at the last fib, right? We got a regular fib in there. We came out, we pushed above, we closed. Up here the next day, same thing. We're there, right? The retest gave you a better choice than the breakout did. That breakout gave us nothing there. Go over to Goldman Sachs. Again, I don't care. Here, breakout, fail, breakout, fail, 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 fail. Can I just say fail? Fail, failed, fail, 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 fail. Wow. Okay. You see where I'm going with this? right? Home Depot. We got a breakout. That one, so the breakout did okay. We didn't go that far, but we did break out and it did work. The retest and the bounce. We got a little bit higher move. And I'm not really scrolling backwards. I'm really just looking for what I see. There's the breakout and the fail, the breakout and the fail, the breakout and the fail, right? Not that breakouts don't work. But, and this is the best description I've ever come up with for it. You may have a different answer for it. I want you to think of you're in the middle of a forest, a jungle even, right? And you see what is the tallest tree in the jungle. You climb that tree. You get to the very tippy top and you pop your head out above the leaves and you look out and you go, wow, what an amazing view. That is awesome. Okay, I've seen it. Now what? I'm going to go back down. That's what the breakout is. Breaks out above the top of the leaves. There's nothing to do up there. It just comes back because we've not been there before, at least not recently, right? You may have done this 10 years ago, but you don't quite remember what it was. Now you get up there and go, oh yeah, I've seen this before. Broke above and you fail, right? Now you break above. Why? Because you figured out a way to build a floor in the next level to go up above that on there, right? That's what we're looking at, folks. I am a huge advocate of that pullback. And everything that we do inside of power option plays is about laying out this system for you. Every bit of it, right? All of it. So take advantage of the offer I made this evening. Normally, I would not tell you, yes, come into tonight's class. We would do this away from those classes. But by all means, come into the class tonight and ask the questions, and we'll take whatever amount of time that we need to help answer them for you. Okay? Excellent. Yes, thank you, Stephanie. I did say I was going to do it, and I didn't, of course. Microsoft, Stephanie was asking to see the entire fib. Let's just confirm that it's still good. Oh yeah, it's so I'd probably redraw them, Stephanie. Let's see what we've got. Not that it matters. We had a secondary rule, a clear rule of redraw was already violated. $49 versus 57 or 40. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I would redraw them, Stephanie. I would certainly leave that one in place. And I would redraw them off of here. Unless I just don't have enough dollar move in there. 399, yeah, I've got plenty. That's where I have them, Stephanie, is right there. Right, one of the clear fib rules were violated. We're going to do some training the end of this year, September, October. I don't know exactly where. We're going to do some training on fibs. We're going to do it online. We're going to do it live. It's probably going to be the equivalent of 2 days, broken up into smaller segments, of course, but probably the equivalent of about 2 days of training. Taking all the previous fib trainings that I've done, updating all of them. I'm working on them now, updating all of them and adding all my newest stuff to there as well right now for you. So you will have a Fibonacci trading Bible to work off of. Let me just write myself a note. Excellent. So Lee dropped in a link. Oh, that's for Pop. So if you register, listen, please don't wait until the end of the day. There's a chance you miss tonight's class, although you will get it on a recording. My team is gone at 6 p.m. Eastern. They will not know who registered after that. Zoom doesn't pick it up because we have to register this manually for this training. You're not registering for a class. It doesn't work like that. We register you automatically for it. So if you're going to do it, do it. Send an email to support even and say, hey, I just registered. Please make sure I get in tonight's class, and they'll take care of it. All right. We're at 1 o'clock, folks. I'm going to leave the room open for a couple minutes. You can grab those links, particularly that one to Pop, but to all of them. And have a great rest of your day. God bless. I will see you all at, next week is a special, Lee dropped in the email address. Next week is a special power option plays. We've got a special guest, 2 special guests coming in, Brandon and one other gentleman. We're going to talk about the #1 trading strategy in options trading strategy right now in the market. That is the hottest thing since sliced bread. You're going to hear from an expert in the strategy and an expert from the brokerage side on exactly how you can capitalize on it using AI to help you in your trading. All right, have a good one, folks. We'll talk soon. Bye for now.